Alright guys, you saw the title and thumbnail of this video. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing a 200 elo game that is really bad, and it's one of the worst games that I've ever seen. But before I begin guys, if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and a sub, as that would really help the channel a ton. If you really enjoyed this video, you can also drop a super thanks, and if it's difficult to hear my voice, just turn on captions. Without further ado, let's just begin. So let me just give you guys a very quick description of this game. This game does not end how you will expect it to end, at least like in the first 10 moves, and the game, like every single move, the evaluation bar totally changes for like who's winning. And number 3, I actually did find an even worse game, and a game even worse than the game that I previously reviewed, a 300 elo game that I recorded. But this game, it was only 8 moves, so yeah, it's way too short for me to actually make it a video. But without further ado, let's just begin. So the game starts off with e4, a normal opening. We have the response d6. Okay. Generally, this isn't a good move because, like, you don't really try to go for the center because, like, the pawn is just over here. Like, that's why, for example, the move e3, if it was played, wouldn't be a good move. And we have the move a4. Why? In this position, you should, like, develop a knight, maybe develop a bishop. Just, I guess, push a pawn, like, take control of the center. But instead, we just have the move a4. Okay. Then we have the move knight to f6, developing a knight. So this is a good move. And then we have the move rook to a3. What? Why? Okay, the knight captures. And then the rook goes to e3, attacking the knight. And then we have the move d5. So black is just defending the knight. And yeah, white can't really do much about it. Now there is a move that white could try to play, although, let's be honest, this is 200 elo. This move will never be played. It's pawn to c4 because, like, if black captures, then they just lose the knight in one move. But I mean, come on, this is the 200 elo. That will never happen, obviously. Instead, we have the move f5. The reason this is a bad move is because this just makes the king very vulnerable to an attack. But okay. The knight is supported by another pawn, and for some reason, black forgot that the pawn can just capture the knight, I guess. And yeah, the knight does get captured. And yeah, we have a capture back. Okay. Then we have knight to c3. A good move because, like, it develops a knight. Then we have knight to c6. And then we have pawn to h3. What? Why? Now, the best move in this position is probably something like this. Well, no, because you can just block. Okay, let me try to find the best move. Maybe like... Okay, it's not a bad move. Maybe this... Oh, okay, wait, no, okay. This is the best move I could find, okay? Okay, I guess we'll just say that maybe this is the best move, although it's definitely not. Okay, anyways. We have the move pawn to h3. An interesting move, but okay. Then we have the move pawn to g6. Okay. Then we have pawn to g4. And the reason this is such a bad move is because the king side, for white, it's just totally destroyed. Like, there's nothing guarding it. And white literally can't castle. Like, even if white wants to castle on the king side, it's a very bad idea because there's, like, nothing left here. And we have the move pawn to e6. Okay, like, white can just capture, then they capture back. I guess it just holds the structure. Okay. And then we have pawn to d3. So what's even happening now? I literally have no idea what's even happening. Okay. And then we have bishop to h6. The idea is obviously to attack the rook. And instead of white responding to this threat, they play pawn to b3. And now the game is totally losing. And as I said at the beginning of the video, the evaluation bar is literally going to totally swap each time a player has a chance. So yeah, here it is. And black does not capture. Black castles. And now it's an exact draw. Okay. And white captures a pawn. And now the game is just totally losing because, like, you should just capture the rook, and even if white captures your queen, you can just recapture, and yeah, you're just totally winning. Okay. And instead of black capturing, they bring their knight to d4. And once again, the game is totally losing for black. Because what you can do is bring the rook over here, pin the knight to the queen, while also revealing an attack on this bishop. But obviously it doesn't happen. Instead, we have pawn takes on f5. And now the game really is losing. What's even happening anymore? Okay. And then we have pawn recaptures. What? This rook has lasted like... How many moves? Wait, how many moves? Okay, 1, 2... Like 3 moves. Okay, and the bishop recaptures. And now the game is actually winning for black, because now both bishops are out, and like even if you save this rook, it's still a very bad position. The knight develops. And somehow the game actually isn't losing. I can't believe that. This might actually somehow be the best move. I don't know how, but okay, I guess. And then the knight captures and gives a check. Oh, no. Oh yeah, I just remembered. The knight captures over here. And the king has to move. So the king moves. Wow. And then we have queen to d4, which blunders the queen in one move. The move board is right here if you don't think this is a real game, by the way. And what happens is that instead of capturing the queen, we have bishop to d2. I wasn't joking when I said this game, like, the evaluation bar is just going to fall off a cliff. And then we have queen to e3 check. And the bishop actually recaptures. Wow. And the knight captures. And then we have the amazing move, pawn to h4, which just loses the queen in one move. And that actually does happen, and the king has to capture back. And then we have the move, bishop to g4, which just pins the knight. There's no saving this knight. Like, even if you bring this bishop over here, because it's supported by a rook, there's just no saving this knight. But yes, white does try to break the pin, but obviously that won't achieve anything. The bishop captures, white captures back, and now the rook is over here attacking the knight. And at this point, yeah, at this point you should just resign. Like, there's no hope. We have the move king to e2, just attacking the rook, and it loses the knight in one move. And that's exactly what happens. Black captures the knight. Okay. Then we have king to f2. Then rook takes on b3. Then king to h5. And wait. Oh, we have pawn to h5 first. And now, like, checkmate is actually on the board. It's like mate in 17. Wow, okay. Then we have king to g7. And now it's actually not checkmate guaranteed. Wow. It's not forced checkmate, but still it's basically checkmate because, yeah, white is totally losing. White captures, black captures back. White moves their king, and it's still checkmate. Then rook to e8 check. The king has to move. Rook to b1 check, which yeah, just laser beams the king and just captures the rook. The king has to move, and the rook is captured. And now at this point, yeah, white is just totally lost. The king moves, the rook moves. White is trying to defend the remaining pawn, and it's literally mate in 3, probably just by some ladder mate, I'm assuming. Like, it's probably like this, then the king has to go down, then this, then the king has to go over here, and then this. Like, let me just show you really quickly. Yeah, that's pretty much just the checkmate. But instead, we have rook to h4, which isn't a bad move, you know, it doubles the rooks and it captures the pawn guaranteed. The pawn moves, black still gives the check, the king moves, black captures the pawn, the king moves again, pawn is pushed, king moves back, another pawn is pushed, the king moves, and now the pawns are just being pushed, and yeah, black gives a check, white runs away, black gives another check, white's king runs away again, and then we have pawn to b4, white's king moves, and now it's mate in 3. Because now black has promoted their pawn on b1. The king moves. It's literally mate in 2 now. Like, literally. Then we have rook to e5 check. The king moves. Then we have queen to b8. The king moves. Then we have queen to b6. then we have king c8, then we have rook to e8 check, then the king moves, then queen to e6 check, then the king moves, and then we have the brilliant move, rook to b4, which stalemates the game. Wow. I honestly have no words for this game. What the heck even was this? Okay, guys, let's just have a review on this. Okay. Very weird opening. Blundering a pawn instantly. No strategies whatsoever. Black doesn't even defend the knight properly. And then developing of pieces. Again, even more weird pawn moves. And then the rook just being there for like... And then like the evaluation bar just going left and right, or should I say up and down, continuously for the entire time, but okay. Then black blundering their queen in one move, and white just not capturing it for some reason. And then they still blundered the queen, but okay. And then white blundered their queen. And then the knight was pinned, and it got captured, and then a trade. And then the knight also got captured, the other knight. And then white lost their rook. And then they lost their remaining pawn. And then white tried to stop these pawns, but obviously they couldn't because, well, it's just the king versus 2 rooks, 4 pawns, a bishop, and another king. So yeah, white definitely couldn't stop this. The king tried to stop it, but it didn't work. So white had to run away. And then black promoted their pawn to a queen. And then multiple checks. And by the way, very sorry for the game being slightly laggy. Eventually, the game ended in stalemate. Wow. 200 elo chess really is something else. And yeah, guys, this is the whole video. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and a sub, as I would really help the channel a ton. If you really enjoyed this video, you can also drop a super thanks. And yeah,